Hi, this is Randy Richmond along with Randy Daniels from WITY Radio and with Russell Boer from the I&I Club here, who participated in the Midwest Ag Expo in Gordyville. And Randy and I were talking, they got so many events here, it's going to take two of us to talk to Russell a little bit about what's going on. And so Randy, why don't you start off and start quizzing Russell here on the first events and pull out some of those details for our listeners.
It'll take two of us to handle one of his knowledge. That's why there are two of us here, two Randys and one Russell. Russell Boer, I&I Antique Tractor and Gas Engine Club, based out of Penfield, Illinois, has been around how long now?
We had our first show in 1987, and that was up at the Forest Preserve yet. And then we moved to the club showgrounds in about 1996, I believe it was. So we've been doing the show there in downtown Penfield for several years now.
Yeah, now you mentioned 1987. I don't know between that Randy and this Randy if we got enough fingers and toes between the two of us to count all those up. So you've been doing it for a while. You ought to be getting it right.
Well, that's why I said 1987, so I didn't have to take my shoes off and your shoes off and Randy's shoes off.
Yeah, my shoes
we'd
are
have
tight.
all our shoes off, and people wonder what the heck we're doing over here.
That's right. Heaven forbids if we'd have to find three more digits so we could count those up. But it's getting close to, I guess, auction time in March, isn't it?
That's right. March 22nd, 23rd, I believe. It's the Friday and Saturday. We're having our annual swap meet and toy auction. Toy auction's on Friday night, and then the big stuff is on Saturday afternoon. So it's going to be here, and we got to make pancakes for you again, Randy.
You better make pancakes for me, a big one. You are the master chef on the pancake grill.
We try anyway, pancakes and sausage. We try to fix you up just in case, you know, you need a little nourishment that day. We try to fix you up.
You know me, I need a lot of nourishment. You haven't seen me eat yet, Randy.
But
You
I did
just
see
wait.
the pancake that Russell made for you. That was a
It
classic.
was a thing of beauty, wasn't it?
It was
That's a
indeed.
thing of beauty. Only from that mind can something like that happen.
Well, speaking of things of beauty, Russell, you guys put on a great display here at the Midwest Ag Expo, and some of the things here that we could maybe get Andrew to home in on is this Scout over here. This is what, a 1960s era?
Yes, it is. It's one of a kind almost, really, because it's got a 3-point hitch and a PTO on it too. It's not just a Scout that you could drive around. It's a Scout you used out in the field.
Gotcha. And that's what the life of this Scout was, working for a farmer?
That's right. It had to be used like that. You know, that it was a utility vehicle in that day, and that's really something that they come up with stuff like that. Well, I think it all started for World War II with the Jeeps, because the Jeep was such a universal vehicle that International and Ford and some of them, they tried to do the same thing with that thing. You know, they really had a universal vehicle that could do about anything.
Right. Speaking of International, and I wonder if Andrew can get a shot of that International tractor over there, but that's an oldie but goodie, right?
Well, that was made in the 80s. The 2+2s, this is the second version of a 2+2. The early one came out in 1979. This is the second model of that. It come out about 83 or 84. So quite the unique vehicle, because at the time, any four-wheel drive vehicle, you sat on the front half and then the back half would articulate. This thing, you sat on the back half and the front articulated. So you, instead of watching the tail wag, you'd watch the nose wag.
Right.
It's just totally different the way they come up with that concept.
And the little Alice Chalmers seems very intimidated there, sitting next to it. What year is that?
That's made in the middle 50s, about a 55, 56 model, a CA Alice. It's holding its own, though. It's you know, it's kind of like the big brother, you know, next to it. The big brother's watching out for the little Alice.
There you go. They all run, right?
Oh, yeah, you bet. They all run. You have to run to get here, so, yeah, that's part of the deal.
And right here next to Andrew is the tractor you don't see every day, a pink International Farmall.
They painted it pink and white. It's got the Woods belly mower on it, and then, like I say, then when they redid it, they painted it pink and white. It's pretty awesome, I think.
I don't know what it is about tractors that show up in the hands of the members of the I&I Antique Tractor and Gas Engine Club, but they all wind up different colors than they're supposed to be.
Well, you know, that's part of the deal. You know, people just go home and then they think about things, and then pretty soon they think, you know, what if we come up with a pink tractor or a, you know, off green or, you know, pale or something. And maybe they made it that way one time at the factory. Now, they made some demonstrators like that, and they was all white instead of red. There was no red on them tractors then, but now, like I say, people's coming up maybe they got the paint mixed up at the paint store and they had to buy it. There was no return on it or something. Maybe that was the deal. Who knows?
I think something or somebody got mixed up somewhere along the way.
And speaking of colors, the purple tractor, you want to help Russell explain the history of that tractor for those who've seen it but maybe don't know it.
Every year the David Brown tractor makes an appearance when it's healthy enough. Is it going to be able to be at the Historic Farm Days again this year?
Oh, we hope so. I got to probably get it running again to run the auger. I got to run some corn out of the bin, haul some bin out and take it to the elevator. So I better get the thing running just for that, if nothing else, just to kind of keep it limbered up, so it's ready to go for this summer circuit.
That's one of those tractors, by the way, that has changed colors since it wound up in the hands of an I&I Antique Tractor and Gas Engine
And not only
Club
that,
member.
changed model numbers too, right?
That has been known to happen a few times too, just to see if people are paying attention. Let's see if Russell's paying attention. Tell us the dates again in July.
Okay, July like the 13th through 15th. It's the Thursday through Sunday. I can tell you real quick.
Check your local listings, as the saying goes. Oh, he has a cheat sheet. What a wonderful idea.
The 11th through the 14th. I knew the 12th and 13th was in there, and then I didn't know which side of that was. But see, I got to plant corn before then, so that's why I'm thinking about that instead of the exact dates. But it is July the 11th through the 14th.
And you are trying to set a record number of what, V8, 8 IHs or something? What's going on?
Something like this thing right here. The International made a 1568 and a 1468. 1568 only had 6 forward speeds. The 14 had 8 forward speeds.
See, I told you.
Yeah, you did.
And there's the difference. It has a planetary rear end where the 14 don't. But they put this V8 engine in this tractor out of a truck. Evidently, they had a bunch of them motors sitting around that they wasn't putting it in trucks, so they thought, well, gee, let's put them in some tractors. We can sell them that way. And then at one time, them V8s was kind of down on price. You could buy them real cheap. Now try to buy one of these that there's not too many of, and you get to pay real good for that. Get the checkbook out right now for one of these.
How many would you like to have at the Historic Farm Days this year?
As many as we can. If we can get 25, that would be great. If we get 50, that'd be better yet. 25 because Chapter 10, the international group that's putting on the international part of the show, is celebrating an anniversary, and that's why we want to get as many as them we can.
More the merrier.
And the more the merrier. We're having V8s, but it's also the anniversary of the Farmall H and the M, but they come out in 1939. We're trying to get as much of them back, and they made the Farmall H's and M. That's the most produced tractor International made, was the H's and the M's. They made about 500,000 of those tractors combined from 1939 to 1952. So we're trying to get as many of them we can. The axial flow combine come out in 1979, and we should have the experimental prototype model of that combine at the show. It's down in southern Illinois. We're trying to get that to the show, which is supposed to be there at Rantoul and at Penfield. And in 1979, it was also the anniversary of the very first 2+2, so we're trying to get 2+2s there. That's why we have that here at the Midwest Ag Expo today.
Wow, what a schedule you got coming up. So to recap, March, toy sale and equipment auction.
That's right. And then we go to July for the Historic Farm Day, and then we go to Rantoul to the Half Century Progress, and that's going to be probably bigger and bigger than ever before, and it's keep getting bigger, and thousands of people come, and they just get to see stuff that you never see before and never see in a collection like that again. You just about got to be there to see it. You can't describe it, you just got to be there.
The last year's, well, been 2 years ago, I think, was the biggest and best that I'd ever seen. You're going to have a hard time topping that, but if anyone can do it, Russell can do it.
Oh, absolutely. And anybody there, everybody knows Russell. So if you need more information on what some of these great details, he is the man who can give them to you. Russell, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you success this year with I&I.
Well, thank you. It's kind of nice to have the 3 R's come together and just, what a brain trust this is.
Right. At least we can say it happened one time in history, right? Well, and from the Midwest Ag Expo in Gordyville, Randy Daniels, Russell Boer, and Randy Richmond, and behind the scenes, we have Andrew back there, our technical guru right there, Andrew Dudich from the station.
How an A name got in this group, I have
yeah,
no
he's
idea.
a little out of place right now. But this is us from the Gordyville, and please pay attention for I&I activities this year. And we'll see you, and you'll be listening to us on WITY Radio.